Did Sunday replace the Sabbath? No. The Holy Communion did. Did the Pope replace the Sabbath? No. Jesus' death did. Are there 10 commandments in the New Testament? Yes. Was there a Sabbath at creation? No. The Sabbath was given after the Exodus. According to Moses, and on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Moses gave this account hundreds of years after creation. The multiple past tense in the verse are there to inform its readers that the establishment, blessing, and setting aside of the seventh day was after creation. God enjoined this covenant on Israel after they left Egypt. In the first instance, God told the adults that he was making this covenant only with Israel, to remind them that just as he had rested at creation, he was giving them rest from 400 years of labor. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth. On the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Take note, the Sabbath was a sign, a symbol, a token. It represented obedience to God. In the second instance, God imposed the same token on the generation that would enter the promised land. Remember that the adults that came out of Egypt wandered in the wilderness and died after 40 years? Their children would be the ones to enter the promised land. It was at this time Moses told these children that no one before the Exodus received this Sabbath covenant. This included Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. Unlike the first generation, the second generation would observe the Sabbath covenant to remember deliverance from Egypt. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, for this reason, the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day. Keeping the Sabbath covenant demonstrated that Israel was committed to obey the laws of God. But Israel did not keep the covenant. Therefore, Jeremiah prophesied that the Sabbath covenant embedded in the 10 Commandments would be replaced. Reflecting on disobedient Israel, the Hebrew writer would later write, "For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." In his prophecy, Jeremiah highlighted that it was the Sabbath covenant made with Israel after the Exodus that would be changed. "Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break." The writer to the Hebrews confirmed Jeremiah's prophecy. Compare Jeremiah's prophecy with Hebrews 8:7-13. The writer repeated Jeremiah's prophecy then made this conclusion after Jesus' death. In that he said, a new covenant he had made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. We must now look to Jesus for this new covenant. It is accurate to say that Jesus lived most of his life during the Old Testament. This is because the New Testament began with his death, not at his birth or the book of Matthew. For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator. For a testament is of force after men are dead, otherwise it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. The fact that Jesus is the testator, we must look to him for the establishment, blessing, and sanctification of the new covenant. He converted the Jewish Passover to the Holy Communion. This is Mark's account of the conversion. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and brake it and gave to them and said, take, eat, this is my body. He took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them. And they all drank of it. And he said unto them, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. After Paul's conversion, Jesus said to him, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do he as oft as he drink it in remembrance of me. In fulfillment of Jeremiah's prophecy, Jesus declared that the Holy Communion is the new covenant. It replaced the old token. Note, the Sabbath was to remember deliverance from Egypt. The Holy Communion is to remember deliverance from sin. The Sabbath was an agreement between God and Israel alone. The Holy Communion is an agreement between God and all mankind. In the Sabbath, mankind externally examined each other to determine righteousness. In the New Testament, each person must examine him or herself with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. In the Sabbath covenant, the unrighteous before God who keeps the Sabbath was permitted to stone the righteous for not keeping the Sabbath. In the new covenant, the unworthy who takes the Holy Communion reap damnation on themselves. Some become sick, others die. Sabbath belongs to Judaism, and the Holy Communion belongs to Christianity. There is no New Testament in Judaism because its followers have rejected the deity of Jesus. It is a monumental paradox if a Christian observe an obsolete Sabbath and at the same time partake of the Holy Communion. So the question is, are there still 10 commandments? Yes, the new has replaced the old. Let us now identify the 10 commandments reiterated in the New Testament. Old Testament, thou shalt have no other gods before me. New Testament, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Old Testament, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. New Testament, turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth. Old Testament, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. New Testament, swear not at all. Old Testament, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. New Testament, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. This do in remembrance of me. Old Testament, honor thy father and thy mother. New Testament, children, obey your parents in the Lord. Old Testament, thou shalt not kill. New Testament, whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. Old Testament, thou shalt not commit adultery. New Testament, whoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Old Testament, thou shalt not steal. New Testament, let him that stole steal no more. Old Testament, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. New Testament, lie not to one another. Old, thou shalt not covet. New, take heed and beware of covetousness. The Old Testament's fourth commandment was never reiterated or repeated in the New Testament because it was replaced by the New Covenant prophesied by Jeremiah. Sunday did not replace the Sabbath, the Holy Communion did.